I think a lot of people are stopped by those limiting beliefs where they may not be exploring what they're actually passionate about or using the skills that can add the most value. So dissect that a little bit into
that's a
what was
really good
holding you
question.
back? How did you break through those beliefs?
I think that the biggest one I think a lot of people struggle with, and I struggled the most, was definitely imposter syndrome. I was like, who am I to tell someone about that when I'm like, who am I? That was the biggest one. I was like, why would anyone want to trust in me when, there's so many other coaches and stuff out there? That was the biggest one. And that was I still to this day still have it, but on an extent of going, I can help people of where they're at to take things to the next level. And after that, they may find another coach to take them to the next level. Just realizing that's how it is. But the big one for me was definitely not being good enough. That I think comes with the mindset of from just like my sports of just like, I need to get better. I need to get better. And just realizing, I definitely had that moment where I was like, I'm just not good enough. And that stopped me from taking action. And that stopped me from just engaging or putting stuff on social media. And another one was definitely, being worried about what other people thought.
Yeah.
That was a big one. And to this day, I can honestly say that it's definitely still plays in my head, but I just try and overcome it by small little steps. That fear aspect is definitely there, but I always ask myself, I was like, what's the smallest thing I can do right now that doesn't really trigger that fight or flight response or that fear response? So that definitely imposter syndrome. Then how to say that, worrying about what other people thought and not being good enough. Those were the three that really got to me. But what kept me going was this level of trust on going, things will work out. I just, for some reason, just had this innate feeling like in me just going, for you to be the person you need to be, you're going to have to go through a lot of struggle, meaning you're going to be challenged. And I think when I took that leap, I just knew it wasn't going to be easy. And realizing that for me to be the optometrist I had to go through all the highs and lows. And that grew me as a person to be that person I was. So for where I was taking that leap to go, no more optometry, it's almost like another cycle of going, okay, this is a coach and the person you need to be. What challenges will I be faced with in order for me to be that person? So that's how I kind of think it. So I know where I need to be. What does that person do? What does that person look like? How do they deal with stress? How do they, interact with people? Those are all skills.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you'll be faced with challenges in order for you to gain that skill.
Yeah.
So that's how I tend to process things, a bit logical in that sense. Don't get me wrong. When you go through a storm, you can't think you're getting a lesson out of this. You don't know what the lesson is at the time, but after.
Yeah.
But that's what's helped me, because I just know that everything I'm going through, the hardship, the highs, the lows, is allowing me to grow to be that person that I need to be best of service to the people I want to help the most.
And that is part of the process. Yeah. I can resonate with those limiting beliefs as well, not being good enough or what other people think about you. Even with the first episode of this podcast, I recorded it and sat on it for 3 to 4 months without releasing it, thinking
3-4 months. Wow.
that it's not good enough. Also, what are people going to think about me? And even still to today, right? I put stuff out on social media. I know some people are looking at me saying, oh, Sina thinks he's an influencer. He's this, he's that. Like, why is he doing these things? And I think there is that bit of crab mentality going on where people try and pull you down, right? You've probably heard the analogy. If you put crabs in a bucket, right, they are all capable of escaping. But as one starts to climb out, the other crabs pull the crab down. So they can all win and get out. And that's my mentality, right? And we talked about this at the wedding. I said, I want all my friends and family to win. I want everyone to live the lives they want to live.
Yeah.
But the attitude I see from some people, even people who you think are your friends, like sometimes they're not supporting you enough when all it takes is, share my post on your story. Like, it's free, but people are so into, what if I share his story? He's not really credible enough. But we're really good friends. You'd rather share someone else's quote who has 1 million followers, but I'm sharing a similar quote
Mm-hmm.
that's related to my story, but you don't want to share that because I'm not seen as like as the same level of influence.
Yeah.
And something I actually wrote in my journal the other day was, when you start to talk about it, they laugh at you. When you start to do it, they think you're crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And when you do it, they ask you how you did it.
Perfect.
I think that's how you
Yeah.
realize who the real ones are. And, you know, some of the people I met at the wedding, I hadn't seen for years, but we have that connection. We're so happy to see each other and see each other grow. And I think that's probably what's missing in society a little bit, is that people are just trying to divide each other, you know, and not support each other to get to the highest level.
Yeah. It makes complete sense. You know, again, I'm glad you're in that similar frame of mind of just going, you just want people to win, you know, you just want people to thrive and you want to uplift them. Any knowledge I have, I'm like, I really want you to do well. Like whatever I've done, of course, ask questions. But I've definitely had that similar thing of like, you know, someone makes a small remark, you're going, oh, you're an Instagrammer and stuff like that. I'm like, I'm trying to provide as much knowledge on a platform which I know can reach a lot of people. And as soon as I say that, again, the reason they say stuff like that is because either they've had the same idea and not doing it, and you're doing something that they know they should be doing.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's where I feel like they just want to bring you down, because it's almost an insecurity on their behalf of going, they're doing what I should be doing, I'm going to bring them down because I'm not doing it.
Yeah, to make them feel better about themselves.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I've come across it so much that, you know, you almost come to a point where you just have to, I mean, they say, you know, you got your haters as well. I wouldn't say haters, but like you want people to bring you down, and you've just got to keep shining. You know, you got to just keep thriving. You just got to keep putting that one step in front of another. And because they'll always be there, you know, and that it's a shame to think that, but it's the truth. And the way I really want to approach things is that, you know, when you're ready, I will help you. You know, whatever knowledge I have is just, hopefully it'll make it a little bit easier for when you come up. You know, if I have to go through the struggles to find the lessons so you don't have to go through that. Again, I just want people to win, and I'm willing to go through that.
Yeah.